just want to say a public service announcement that I apologise to all Allens out there. It's nothing personal. Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about cosy autumn things. We're also going to be talking about a creepy little guy that has been following my family around, and also Joey going skibbity toilet. Anyway, I feel like that's one of the weirdest intros I've ever done to a podcast, but you'll have to listen to find out more context for that. But anyway, before we begin, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Red Post. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, and they also ship all over the world. And now is the time. Now we are going into autumn. The one thing that I feel like every equestrian needs is a good pair of waterproof boots, because the last thing that you want is going up to the yard or going on a dog walk or that kind of thing and having squelchy wet feet or boots with holes in. Like, it's not a vibe. So if you need any of your winter or autumn equestrian or country needs, be sure to head to redpostequestrian.co.uk. Anyway, I don't really know where to start with today's episode. I thought we'd maybe start with, we'll have like nice, good vibes to start with. We'll talk about like cozy autumnal things, because the last couple of days we have just gone straight into autumn. It's cold, it's wet. We have had so much rain. All of the roads have been flooded. So when I've been like hacking the horses, I've been doing like cross-country water practice, because the roads, we're literally having to like swim through them. Casper, he does not like water or wetness or anything to do so. So he's the sort of horse where if there is a puddle and it's probably like big enough or wide enough that he can go around it, he'll go around it. Or if it's not, he will jump over it. And even if he can't jump over it, he will still try to jump over it and then jump into it and splash everyone that is nearby. So there we go. Especially as Casper has like little legs. Sometimes when he does splash in water, it does like splash right up onto you as well, because how big is he? He's like 14, 315 hands. So he's like an overgrown Connemara pony. But anyway, so yeah, horses has basically just been a lot of soggy rides lately. I do actually today, which I'm very excited for. I have got a jumping lesson with my horse Joey, because it's been a hot minute since we last had a jumping lesson, especially as it's been like the last kind of bit of the event season, and my instructor is an inventor. So we'll hopefully be having some more lessons with Felicity coming up soon. I actually have 2 lessons booked for this week, so I'm like, if we're going in, let's go in hard. Like, let's go, Joey. And she has an indoor as well, so I'm very thankful for that. So hopefully we'll be nice and dry, even though it's that weird kind of thing at the moment where it's still very warm but also very wet. So I'll do that thing where I put a raincoat on and I'll be riding, and then I'll be like, am I getting more dry because I have a raincoat on because the rain's not hitting me, or am I getting more wet because I'm getting so sweaty in this raincoat? So it's that weird in between. But anyway, back to autumn. So the last couple of days, actually, I have had so much fun decorating the cottage for autumn, because I realised this will be my 3rd Halloween in the cottage, although it's actually only my 2nd year of owning the cottage, because I got the key. I think my first night that I slept in the cottage was on Halloween night, which I feel like is a little bit, creepy, like sleeping in somewhere that you've never slept before, and like my cottage is like a little cottage in the woods. But I was just so excited. I was like, I don't know, that kind of thing I don't really get that freaked out by. But anyway, so that's weird when you think about it, how it's like 3 Halloweens, but it's only been 2 years. Because yeah, that year was the first Halloween, and then last year was like the first time where I actually had like furniture and everything in the house and could decorate it. And then this year I've got all the kind of decorations from last year, and I might have been autumn shopping the other day just to have a little peruse, a little look around the shops, and there were like a couple bits and bobs that I picked up. And I'll tell you what, one of my favourite things that I have actually recently got for the cottage, and that is a pumpkin smelling like rediffuser bottle, because I have loads of like little redifusers, but this is just like the bottle so you can fill them all up. And oh my goodness, it smells incredible. Like, even my dad, when he came over to my house the other day, he was like, oh my gosh, it just smells like pumpkin spice lattes in here. Like it is incredible. So every evening after I've been out on the horses and got all wet and cold, I come into my nice warm cottage and it smells like pumpkin spice lattes. I even have like a few candles as well that I've been lighting in the evenings. It's just been so cozy. So also I have a little story about when I was shopping for autumn decorations, because my car, I don't know what it is. So my car has like a black roof, and it's like a big 4x4. And anyway, I went to go and like put some of my shopping bags in the car, and there was this seagull on top of my car. And I thought, I was like, I know we're in a town or a city or whatever, and the seagull's, you know, is used to probably humans, so it's not going to fly away. I was going to say like the wild ones, they're all wild, but you know what I mean? Like normal birds in the countryside, they're a little bit more cautious of humans. But anyway, this seagull just was not leaving off my car. And I was like, why is this seagull so obsessed with my car? And anyway, I realised because it's got a black roof, all of these flies were landing onto my nice warm black roof, and the seagull was just sitting there like this is a free buffet. He was sitting there like it was a yo sushi, and all these like little flies were just like coming and sitting in my car like a little fly conveyor belt. So this seagull was having a great time eating all these bugs, and I felt so bad when I had to drive off because I was like, Mr. Seagull, you're not going to be able to stay clinging onto my car as I drive off. Luckily, he did fly away before I drove off, because if not, I was going to be a bit concerned. Like, driving along with this, I was like, maybe I'll just take him home to the cottage. If I go a little bit slower, then he might be able to cling on or might just follow me. I don't know. But yeah, this seagull absolutely loved my car. And then I went in like 4 or 5 different shops after that, and the seagull was still there. So I was like, I should have named him. He was like my little pet for the day. But anyway, yeah. One thing that I was surprised though, because when I was doing all of this kind of like autumn decoration kind of shopping, I could not believe how many Christmas decorations are out. And I'm saying this was in September. Like Halloween hasn't even been and gone yet. Like this is before October. And I was like, excuse me? Like all of the like autumn decorations, they were almost all gone. There was like a few like Halloween ones left, but I was absolutely shocked. And then, so I walked in, seeing all these Christmas decorations, and you best believe I was judging these shops. I was like, no, it's too early. How dare you? Did I buy a few Christmas decorations? Maybe. Only because there was this cushion, and I thought it was the cutest thing. And I feel like Christmas cushions are a little bit more tricky to find, and it was gorgeous, and I was like, I'm going to kick myself if I wait until Christmas to buy this, and it's all sold out. So I did buy one Christmas cushion. So don't get angry at me. I know I'm angry at myself for buying something Christmassy in September, but you know what? It was cute, and you guys will see it when I decorate the cottage for Christmas. But yes, so there we go. I've had like a couple really like cozy evenings. I've got my big thick duvet now on my bed, and that's how you know that we are getting into autumn. Also, all of the horses are molting so much at the moment. They're all like little snowstorms. So I'm getting to that stage now where it's like, oh, I should probably start thinking about clipping them. I feel like that's when you really know that we're into autumn, is when the horses are clipped, all of the hedges have been cut, all of the verges have been mown, and just everywhere looks all kind of, I don't know, all just bare. So there we go. But yeah, so that has been my my autumn. Oh, before we go into autumn, actually, or I've just talked about autumn, but I went to Blenheim the other day, the Blenheim Palace International Horse Trials. So that is my last event of the season. Obviously, I have a lot of shows coming up. I have what's next? Horse of the Year show, Your Horse Live, London International Horse Show at Christmas, and then I have some meet and greets I have one in Scotland, and then I have one in kind of Yorkshire area sprinkled in at different places. So yeah, I think I've got a very busy next couple of weekends. I think I've calculated that I'm doing a meet and greet every other weekend all the way up into Christmas, which is wild. So there we go. So yeah, excited to see all of those. But anyway, back to Blenheim. So yeah, Blenheim is like the last like eventing event for me that I'm covering this season, and I had so much fun. It's just one of the most beautiful like scenery. Like it's actually, a little fun fact, I'm pretty sure it's the only palace in the UK that's not owned by the royal family. So there we go. If you ever get the chance to have a little wander around the palace or the grounds, very, very pretty. But yeah, I was there for the horse show, and I did lots of meet and greets. I also did like a live Q&A as well, which I feel like it's one of those things, a bit like the podcast, where I will sit and chat and ramble for half an hour, 45 minutes, however long it is. And then afterwards, I'll turn around, I'll be like, what did I even say? Like, I don't know what happens. Like, my brain just like, it just goes, this is what's in my head right now. And then afterwards, I'm just like, wow, that went so quickly. It's like I blinked and it was over. I guess it goes to show that I enjoy it so much, because it's one of those things that, I don't know, they always say like time goes quickly when you enjoy doing something. Like, I feel like the last year has flown by so quickly. Oh my goodness. Like, how wild is that? Oh yeah, I was supposed to say this at the beginning of the podcast, but Dad and I were chatting about this, and this is episode 80 of the podcast. I feel like I only started the podcast the other day, but yeah, 80 episodes. And also, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you guys for listening, because last week was the best week the podcast has ever done, like listener wise or download wise. And we were looking at the analytics, and normally if I have like a peak or a spike in views with like YouTube or that kind of thing, normally there's like a video that's gone viral or that kind of thing. And we were looking at it, and there wasn't like one podcast episode that had just gone mental. We were like looking at it, and we're like, it's just all over the board. So maybe you guys are like, okay, it's autumn, let's listen to the podcast, let's listen to something cozy. Or we're like, oh, maybe everyone's like going back to work or back to school after the summer holidays, maybe they're listening to it on their commute. Or maybe you guys are just telling your friends that Esme's Country Life is the best podcast out there. So yeah, if you've been telling your friends, go and do that, please. Yes, thank you. Sorry, I hate being that person. I hate it so much. Anyway, technically it's my job, but yeah, no, I just want to say thank you, yeah, for all the love and support, because last week we were looking at the analytics and we were like, what's happened here? Anyway, so yeah, the podcast is probably one of my favorite things that I do. I feel like you guys get to hear a lot more about what I actually get up to, especially as nowadays so many things on social media is only like a few seconds long, and here you get to hear the whole story, you get to hear it first. Anyway, but talking about social media, actually I have got a little series that depending on when you listen to this, I probably will have started by now. I have filmed a few and edited a few, but I'm actually doing some work with Meta, and I've actually been invited to their headquarters in London, so very excited about that. But now I'm doing a little series on my Insta, and it's going to be, each day is going to be like a cute autumn activity to kind of spread positivity and that kind of thing. So yeah, so far I love a list. I am somebody who loves a list. So on my phone I have like a list of all the like kind of content ideas I have for that, and they're all going to be autumnal themed and very, very cozy. So if you'd like to see some cozy content, go and check that out, please. But anyway, so yeah, very excited for I've got quite a bit of work actually with Meta in London, so I'm gonna be a city girl again. I've got 2 days in London. Is it next week? Yeah, I think it's next week. That's gonna go by so quickly. But anyway, so yeah, I'll have to update you all on that once I've done those city girl days. It's always quite fun. I always find it really fun meeting other content creators. But anyway, so yes, I've been doing that. I need to tell you about the thing that has been so funny in my family lately. So, not that long ago, it was my mum's birthday, and we went to a little fair, and they have like some antique kind of shops or stalls there, where they like, some things are really cute, and some things are just like, what is that? Anyway, we came across an object that was, what is that? And my mum just like went, oh my gosh, that is the creepiest thing I have ever seen in my life. Now this, I don't know how to describe it, but its actual use is supposed to be like a cork kind of stopper that you put in like a bottle of wine or that kind of thing. But it looks like Lord Farquaad from Shrek, if any of you have seen Shrek. And also in Shrek, you know the little, like the small world, like singing little wooden things? It's like that crossed with Lord Farquaad, but the creepiest thing that you could ever think of. And it has like a little, it's made of wood, and it has like a little lever at the back. And if you move the lever, it opens its mouth, and then like its hand moves towards its mouth. And I think it must have once like held like a little bottle or something like that, and that's just disappeared. So now it just looks like it's creepily like waving and opening its mouth, and it was honestly so creepy. So me and my family thought, perfect, let's buy this creepy thing for like £2 or whatever it was from this antique shop and give it to my mum for her birthday. And she honestly like almost screamed and ran back from the box when she saw this little guy in there. Anyway, the little guy, his name is Alan. I don't know where the name came from, but there we go. Apparently he looked like an Alan. So I just want to say a public service announcement that I apologise to all Alans out there. It's nothing personal. It's just the name that he was given. Anyway, so yeah, if I talk about Alan, that is the little creepy wooden thing that we got from this fair. So Alan has been on some adventures, and it's now like he's just been like traveling around everywhere. So the other weekend, my mum and dad went and saw my brother at his apartment, and they left Alan in multiple different places when my brother came home from work. So that was very funny. And then it's just become this thing where, you know, if somebody's at work that day or someone's at home, then someone will take Alan into work. Oh my gosh, my mum took Alan into work and she was trying to like set him up on her desk. And one of the receptionists came into her office and my mum was like, I have never been so terrified in my life. And my mum was like, this girl has only been working there like a few weeks. Like she would have thought I was a right old weirdo for having this creepy wooden doll thing on my desk and me taking pictures of it on my desk. And we were like, oh my goodness. When she was telling us this story, we were like, Alan, what have you done? Anyway, so I'm trying to think, oh my gosh, we lost Alan the other day, which was actually terrifying because I was going to take him somewhere. I can't remember where I was going to take him. But anyway, and I just misplaced where he'd gone. I lost him, and we were all like searching the whole house trying to find him. We're like, oh my gosh, he's actually gone walkabouts. Somebody put him in the fridge the other day, and then I opened the fridge and he was just there staring at me, and I honestly screamed. So yeah, I'm gonna have to try and think of some places to put him to scare my family, because I feel like I've been the one that's been scared the most. But anyway, we did find him. He was in the office for some reason. I must have accidentally misplaced him. But anyway, so there we go. That is the story behind Alan, the little creepy thing that has been following my family around. And then the other funny story I have, so on the podcast a few times I have joked about my dad being a girl dad. Like all of my friends find it so funny as well when they see or chat to my dad, because my dad will just like start talking to them about what I want to say teenage girl stuff, but I'm not even a teenage girl now. I'm in my 20s, but I still call it teenage girl stuff. Like my dad will be like, oh, have you seen like Kylie Jenner's or like done this, or Kendall Jenner's like dyed her hair blonde again, or just like random stuff like that. I'm like, how do you know this? Why are you keeping up with the Kardashians? What are you doing here? Like, what? Anyway, so I think it's because he spends a lot of time with me, and I obviously like my music taste and everything. So because my dad is obviously, what he likes to say is down with the kids. I often, like on our long car journeys, teach him all the like slang or things that are going down. Like obviously he knows like very demure, very mindful, all that kind of stuff, which I feel like has got kind of come and gone now. Like Esme, that was a few weeks ago. Anyway, I was teaching Dad some Gen Alpha. Like I'm a Gen Z. He's a Gen X, but I like to call him a boomer when he's even though he's like the least boomer of all people. But you know, like if your parents just do something a little bit silly, I just go, okay, boomer. Anyway, we have a lot of banter in our family. Don't worry, he loves it. Anyway. He's shaking his head. Anyway, I was teaching him Gen Alpha stuff, even though I feel like I am definitely not the most up to date with that kind of stuff. But anyway, my dad just turned to me the other day and went, Esme, what's Skibidi Toilet? Because obviously he sees the comments. He sees the comments on like my YouTube and stuff. He's like, what's Skibidi? So anyway, I was trying to explain to him what Skibidi Toilet was. And then the other day, he used that phrase in the most perfect way. And honestly, it made me laugh for a solid 5 minutes afterwards. And when I still think about it, it does make me chuckle. So we were down the yard filming some bits and taking some photos. And we didn't have any horses up with us. All the horses were out in their paddocks. But it was kind of like getting to late afternoon. And it's that time of year where when it's raining and things, the horse is just like, I want to go in. I want to go to my bed. I want to have some dinner. And you guys know my horse, Joey, he has he has a case of the major FOMO. He has the fear of missing out. He does not want to miss on anything. So because me and my dad were up at the yard filming stuff, Joey was like, what is happening? I want to be there. Is there food involved? Please, I volunteer. So anyway, Joey sometimes gets a little bit excited when stuff like that happens. So he was zooming around the field. I was like, I am so glad he has his turnout boots on. Joey, please do not hurt yourself. So anyway, he was getting a little bit excited. So Dad just turned around and said to me, Esme, can you go and chuck some haylage in Joey's field, please? Because if not, I'm worried he's going to go a bit skibbity toilet. And I was just like, where has this come from? Where? Like, it was just the way he said it in such a matter-of-fact way. Like, no, like, oh, I'm joking, that kind of thing. Like, he said it with a dead straight face as well. And I was like, what? Where has this come from? So, anyway, there we go. I feel like that's our new phrase for when Joey gets a little bit spicy and goes a little bit crazy. He goes a little bit skibbity toilet, which I do cringe when I say it and think about it. But you know what? It makes me laugh. And sometimes, you know, you've got to be a little bit cringe to have a laugh. So there we go. I feel like that if I know a lot of you guys watch or listen to the podcast with your family. So if you are listening with your family and your family are like, what is skibbity toilet? I'm sorry that you're going to have to explain to your family what that is. I don't know what it is. I haven't even seen any of it, but for some reason, skibbity is just a word that some people have been saying recently, and it's the new thing. Anyway, I mean, it's been around for quite a while now, but I feel like it's just one of those things that people joke about. So anyway, there we go. That is, yeah, my dad using Gen Alpha language. Something that we've recently been doing with the horses is called the sugar tax. Now, everybody's heard of, you know, the stuff online with the cheese tax, where if you get the cheese out and your dog is there, you just have to give your dog a little bit of cheese as part of the cheese tax. Well, we've started something, or no, we haven't actually. I've been inspired by a rider called Anna Buffini that I actually interviewed in Arkham back in the summer, and she does this thing called the sugar tax. Now, what she does is that I've recently been doing with the horses is basically once you get on your horse after you've mounted onto them, you grab like a little sugar cube and then you do like a carrot treat stretch with your horse once you're on, so they can stretch to the left and then stretch around to the right, and then you give them a sugar cube. And the reason why I use a sugar cube rather than a normal treat is because if they have a bit in their mouth, it means that they can chew the sugar cube more easier, because it dissolves obviously with their saliva and all that kind of fun stuff. So anyway, so they can eat it better rather than like a normal treat, which is probably quite difficult to chew when you've got a bit in. Because I never give my horses sugar cubes, just because they do scare me a little bit, because obviously it's just full on pure sugar and that's probably not great for your horse's teeth. But it does mean you can, you know, a lot of pro riders I see give their horses, or their grooms give their horses sugar cubes once they exit the arena, kind of as like a well done, good boy, good girl, that kind of thing. So I thought, I'll give it a go. And you know what also inspired me? So this is really random, but the other day I went into town and I had a sports massage with my massage lady, because I've had a lot of meet and greets lately, and you guys know that is really weird, but basically she has to massage my jaw, because I get really bad like jaw ache or jaw pain from smiling too much, which a lot, like my physio always says, a lot of people always say that on their wedding day, don't they, that their mouth or their jaw really hurts after smiling all day. But I obviously do that quite a lot, and I am just generally a smiley person. But anyway, so she actually has to like put gloves on and put her like hands in my mouth. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but it honestly, it's been life-changing for me. So anyway, I went to my physio, went and did that kind of stuff. And as I was walking down the high street, I like to have a little look in the charity shops and that kind of thing. And in this charity shop, there was this all on its own. I was like, oh, it was meant to be. It was only like a couple of quid also. And this was a white porcelain kind of china sugar pot, and it said sugar on it. It had little indents of sugar cubes on, and I just thought, oh my gosh, that is perfect for putting the horse's sugar cubes in. So I bought that, went around the corner to a shop and got some sugar cubes, and then I've been doing that with the horses, and I actually came to the realization, I think this is the first time I have ever, like, my horses might have ever had sugar cubes before. Because I feel like it's always like an old-fashioned thing, giving sugar cubes to your horse. For like everyone, you know, nowadays, nice, healthy, low sugar. Don't worry, Mickey, poor boy, he is not allowed any sugar cubes. He has like his horsey diabetes at the moment. Like, we're really having to make sure that he has to have like is it insulin that he has in his like breakfast? No. He has like special. Anyway, yeah, Mickey is not allowed the sugar, but he's not ridden, so it's fine. He doesn't know about the sugar tax. Neither does Duke. Oh my gosh, Duke on sugar, that would be too much. Now he would go skibbity toilet. Anyway, so I'm sorry that I said that. I'm cringing at myself, but anyway, yeah. So Joey. Like you guys know, Joey is like the horse dustbin. He will eat anything that you give him. Like he loves banana skins. Like on the food taste tests, there's never been anything that he has disliked before, apart from maybe like when we have to give him wormer, which is it's coming up to worming season. Woo! Anyway, a little reminder for you guys. Anyway, so yeah, we gave him the sugar cube, and he, you know, when the horses do the smelling thing where they put their top lip up, he was doing that. He was going wild. He was like, "What is this magic that I have just consumed?" Like he loved them. Casper, on the other hand, is a little bit more fussy, and like he did the smelling thing a little bit, but I think the thing is though, I don't think that horses can smell sugar cubes, because obviously the treats that I have, like they all have, like some of them are flavored, so they're like turmeric or chamomile, like they're quite, like I was gonna say stinky treats. They smell nice, like you can smell, like the horses can smell if you've got treats in your pocket, but I think with the sugar cubes they don't really have much of a smell, so I'm not sure if the horses can smell them. So if you have a horse that tries to nick the treats out of your pocket, then maybe sugar cubes is the way to go. But anyway, Casper, bless him, I was trying to do this treat stretch with him and he was just so confused. He was like, "Girl, you don't have anything in your hand, what do you mean?" I'm like, "No, there's a sugar cube here." So I had to give him one, and I think he did actually spit the first one out. I think it was just a bit of a shock to him. Casper was like, "Wait a second, what is this? Like, what is this sugary stuff?" So anyway, he spat it out. The second time he liked it. So I'll keep you updated on if Casper likes sugar cubes or not. Joey, that boy loves them. So the thing is though, once you start doing the sugar tax, they're going to expect this every single time you get on now. They're going to be like, "Okay," like Joey's already started like doing his little stretch, being like, "Okay, where is my sugar cube? Yes please sugar." So anyway, I might have created a monster, I don't know, I'll keep you updated. But obviously doing treat stretches or sugar cube stretches or whatever stretches, it's obviously great for your horses, to warm them up and get them going. So yeah, I'll keep you updated, but that's what we've been doing recently. So I have a new addition to my tack room, and that is a little sugar cube jar. So I'm gonna have to watch my dad though. I don't think he's gonna be eating the sugar cubes, but whenever we have polos or mints or that kind of thing, I honestly think he eats more than the horses. Like they are gone. I have to take them away from them. I have to be like, "No, you've had your allocated mint time. I have to take your mints off you." But anyway, so on that note, I'm going to finish off today's podcast episode here. I really hope you enjoyed it. I also want to say a huge thank you to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. I hope today's been an interesting one, that's for sure. There's been a lot of weird and wonderful things that we've been chatting about. I feel like I've also just been, roasting my dad and also, exposing him and my family for being a bit strange. But anyway, on that note, I'll finish it off there and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.